Hello and welcome to this pit stop for Symphony No.9, a game designed by Frank Liu and Hun Yang Shen and published by Moaideas game. It's for 2 to 4 players taking around 75 minutes. In Symphony No.9, each of the players plays as a rival patron of music in 18th century Europe. There are 6 famous composers from that time in the game, and players are looking to support the right composer at the right time in order to score the most points at the end of 6 rounds. At the beginning of each of the rounds, we're going to have a patron phase in which we're going to do drafting of cubes to show our support for these particular composers. In the first round, each player can take any 2 cubes they wish and place them on their board linked to that composer, and we'll go around with players taking various cubes off the board. In the second round of drafting, each player then gets a choice to spend 4 money in order to take 1 more cube and put them in their area. And once we've gone around, everyone's had that chance, you then get a chance to spend 8 money to take 1 further cube off. Once we've completed our drafting of the cubes, we're then going to check and see who's got the majority of each of the composers in play. And if you've got the majority of support for a composer, you get to take one of their compositions and put on your board, and that's going to help with your end game scoring according to where these variable and two-sided scoring tiles are and which one is linked to that particular composer. If you do take a composition, you must discard half of your cubes rounded down to show that that has kind of used up some of your patronage. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to check the fame of each composer currently. And in doing that, we're going to check the numbers of the current situation on the fame track of where each composer is. And we're going to rank them from the highest ranking here, which is Mozart currently on 8. And the 2 lowest ones are going to go further across, which will be like something like this. And then we are going to put those 2 in a low ranked concert, and the remaining 3 will go in a medium ranked concert. Then we're going to try and put on a concert. And the first thing we do is see if we've got any royal patronage. In this case, we don't. Players are then going to have a discussion, and they're going to just tell each other, definitely truthfully, how much money they're going to put in their hand for a blind bid to see how much funding will go towards this concert. Once everyone has agreed to go, you're then going to open your fist, and we're going to count up the total money paid by the players and also by the royal patronage, and we'll check and see if a concert takes place and indeed what level of concert will take place. Now, if all the money put in there was less than 8, then we haven't got enough money for a concert. Whoever put in the least money is going to have to lose 1 or 2 cubes from their board, depending upon where we are in the game, and the game just moves on to the cleanup phase. If the total money is 8 to 11, then a low-level concert will take place. People who have got any cubes in the 2 composers, in this case Beethoven and Bach, are going to earn 3 money per cube they have, but they have to hand in 1 of those cubes for each of the composers they have supported. And whoever paid the most money is going to get to keep 1 of those cubes they would have handed in. In the medium one, you earn 4 money per cube for those composers, and again hand in, and plus 5 for the biggest patron. And if the high level concert, only 1 of our composers are going to pay off for their composition being played, but you're going to get 9 money per cube you have for that particular composer. And whoever put in the most money is going to get to take another cube off the board. If it's gone above 17, then the peasants are just not having it, and there also will not be a concert if there's too much money put in. And again, whoever put in the most money is going to have to lose some cubes. The next thing we're going to check then is to see if any of these composers have died, and that's going to happen if all of their patronage has been used up. Well, they've been worked to death and they flip over, and that means no more of their compositions are going to be given out. But their compositions will be worth some points at the end of the game, because after 6 rounds of doing exactly this, so after we've done all that, we're going to go back to the patronage phase. We're going to check our points. Now, points are going to score for, as I said, these tiles. Now, the number of tiles you have for each composer is going to affect your scoring in each of the categories. And these are just some examples. For example, if I have got 1 of these handle tiles, then I'm going to score 1 point for each different composer I have at least 1 tile off their composition. If I have 2 compositions by handle, it's 2 points per different one, and so on. Down here, you're going to score points according to how many of these composers have been worked to death, 3, 4, or 5, depending upon how many Bach compositions you have. For Haydn, it's how many Haydn tiles you have. This is for having tiles that aren't the same as this one, who is Mozart. This is a majority scoring for Beethoven tiles, and this is for the number of different performers that have taken place over the course of the game. And again, these can flip over, and they'll give you completely different scoring categories to collect your compositions for. Now, after scoring those 6, you're going to score some points for that amount of money you have left over. You're going to score 1 point each for any compositions you have from dead composers because they're more valuable. And also each player starts the game with some furniture which is worth some money if ever you pay it in, but if you don't then you're going to score points for not having to do that and never having gone bust through your patronage. Whichever way it works out, whoever scores the most points over the 6 rounds will be the winner of Symphony No. 9. This has been a Game Pit Stop. For more videos like this, check out our YouTube channel. For more in-depth coverage of gaming, please check out the Game Pit podcast. Thanks.